With the fifth generation making waves in the industry, it's time to ask, which female idols have the vocal chops to define this new era? From nailing the deepest notes in their range to effortlessly hitting the highest, and adding that unique flair with vocal embellishments, what makes a well-rounded vocalist? Cristobal presents the Vocal Deep Dive, 5th Gen Strongest Vocalists. Stick around as we break down the techniques of these rising stars, analyze their strengths and areas for growth, and explore if we're witnessing the rise of singers who can lead the new era with technical mastery and emotional depth. Disclaimer: the following analysis reflects personal opinions based on observable performances and vocal techniques. Since this is a vocal deep dive, grab your popcorn and get comfy, as this will be quite lengthy. Let's dive in, starting with the oldest and working our way to the youngest. Singer's vocal range spans from their lowest to highest notes and is divided into registers: chest, middle, and head voice. The low register covers the lower portion of a singer's range and is typically produced using the chest voice, characterized by warmer, fuller tones. Examining Dahyun's lower register.
Don't let them in, don't let them see. 또 추억에 살고 있어.
As we can hear, she delivers a warm and stable tone around B-flat 3, and even slightly lower to A3, showcasing effective breath support and solid vocal fold closure for clarity and comfort. Now, what do notes like A3 and B-flat 3 mean, and how can we recognize them? These notes refer to specific pitches on the musical scale. A3 is the A note in the third octave, and B-flat 3 is a half step higher. A supported A3 or B-flat 3 will sound steady and free from airiness, which is exactly what Dahyun achieves in this range. Meanwhile, did you notice how her tone loses clarity and becomes airy? This highlights Dahyun's natural limits in holding support in her lower pitches, where achieving full vocal fold closure becomes a challenge. Without proper closure, the vocal folds don't fully engage, leading to a muffled, breathy sound. She could benefit from focusing on exploring and improving this area to gain better control and strengthen her lower register. Moving into Dahyun's mid-range is a strong point in her vocal ability. Her voice is well supported and consistent up to B-flat 4, producing notes with power, richness, and a full, vibrant tone that feels effortless. This makes her mid-range stable, reliable, and one of her most developed vocal assets. The mid-range is often where a singer's voice feels most comfortable and versatile, and Dahyun can extend it up to B4, the highest note in this octave. As we transition into the 5th octave, though, we begin to hear some contrasting qualities compared to Dahyun's 4th octave, as signs of tension emerge. This impacts the openness and ease of her voice, causing her tone to become thinner and more strained, unlike the fuller sound she achieves in her more comfortable range. These shifts point to the challenges she faces in this register, highlighting the need for improved technique and vocal support to achieve greater stability and fullness. That said, there are a few instances where her C5 notes sound supported. While consistency in this higher register needs improvement, these moments reveal her potential for further development in this range. In this regard, Dahyun's belting technique plays a significant role. The ability to sustain a belt, maintaining a consistent and powerful sound over an extended period, particularly in demanding passages, showcases her vocal strength, stamina, and pitch control. While the strain and tension are not ideal for long-term vocal health, Her ability to execute and sustain these belts highlights her physical endurance and technical awareness. This belting technique could serve as a solid base to improve consistency in her higher range, helping her achieve greater stability in notes like C5 over time. Moving on to her head voice, which is a lighter, higher register used for brighter sounds, it hasn't been utilized as frequently. Although not yet fully developed, it shows clear promise and demonstrates her ability to produce a connected sound in this range. While Dahyun demonstrates the ability to execute clean transitions, her vocal agility still has room for further development, particularly in more complex challenges. In this particular riff challenge, the complexity of the run highlighted an opportunity for growth.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Her execution wasn't fully pronounced. However, Dahyun's ability to handle simpler riffs and runs shows that she has good fundamentals and could improve further with targeted practice. For context, vocal agility, which refers to a singer's ability to perform quick, precise, and seamless transitions between notes, is often showcased in riffs, runs, and melismatic passages. Adding to Dahyun's artistry is her technique of modulating her vocal delivery, starting softly and compressing her sound with good airflow control, then gradually building intensity to deliver a more impactful tone. This approach is particularly challenging because it involves sustaining soft, higher notes with limited volume, a feat that requires exceptional breath management and vocal precision. By maintaining clarity and emotional depth throughout, Dahyun showcases a level of skill that elevates her ballad performances to another level. Speaking of ballads as a wave, Triple S's fandom, have you ever wondered why Dahyun has already secured multiple melodic and harmonious OSTs under her belt, even at the early stages of her career? I believe one key reason is her outstanding control over dynamics, particularly her breathy, whisper-like singing style.
거기 있어줘서 그게 너라서 바보처럼 너를 기다리고 있어 나는 낭만 고양이.
This is especially prominent in ballads and softer songs, allowing her to convey emotional intimacy, vulnerability, and subtlety. Dahyun executes this with remarkable precision, making it a highly effective stylistic choice. What's more, her vocal nuances, such as her subtle vibrato and controlled phrasing, effectively capture the emotional essence of the music.
Everything in everywhere 들리니 이곳은 나의 바다야.
These qualities make her shine in emotionally charged genres. So it's no surprise she has secured multiple OST projects. While being in the largest K-pop girl group currently means that Dahyun is part of something massive, the structure of the group, particularly with subunits, creates a unique environment for her technical growth. In a large group like hers, subunits offer breathing room, allowing her to step back from the spotlight at times and focus on refining her vocal technique and artistry. This dynamic provides the space needed for targeted vocal development, without the constant pressure, ensuring both her vocal health in the long term and the quality of her contributions when she is in the spotlight.
Boy, if I touch you, know you had it rough growing up, but that's okay. Such a girl that'll make you wanna dream.
Another way I assess whether a note is supported is if it feels like it has depth, creating a sense of space and fullness without losing stability. True enough, Belle's B-flat 3s carry a warm, pleasant tone, reflecting solid breath support and vocal control that allow the notes to remain steady and capable of dynamic growth. Similarly, her A3s sound clear and pleasant, though I sometimes notice inconsistencies in their quality like this.
To consider if I let you in my circle, you would not.
This highlights the natural limits of her ability to produce consistently clear and well-supported notes, where airflow and vocal cord engagement must remain balanced. As we descend further,
그렇게 우리답게 가보자. 난 기다려요.
naturally, her even lower tones would sound muffled and airy, signaling a challenge with achieving full vocal fold closure. Perhaps because Belle is primarily tasked with utilizing her mid to upper registers, her lower range remains less explored in comparison. However, the fact that she can still produce nearly the same healthy tone in that range highlights her strong potential for growth. As we ascend to Belle's mid-register,
누구나 확실한 lovesick 밤새 나 알게 돼. Watch me now.
Her voice is smooth, well-supported, and projects with clarity and warmth. Her control and full vocal fold engagement allow these notes to float effortlessly, beautifully filling the space. Breath support plays a crucial role here by providing stability, allowing Belle to maintain a consistent tone without straining. However, as Belle transitions into the fifth octave, tension becomes apparent. In this range, her mixed voice, which bridges the chest and head voice, encounters strain as her vocal folds stretch to meet higher pitches. Without proper technique, this tension compromises the fluidity and warmth of her tone, making it sound tighter and more strained. This points to Belle's ongoing development in this range, with her current comfortable upper limit around B-flat 4 and B4 in the fourth octave. That said, Belle's ability to reach and sustain notes in the fifth octave still demonstrates significant vocal strength and potential. Her willingness to push beyond her comfort zone is commendable, but like any singer belting outside their comfortable range, she faces increased strain that can lead to reduced control, instability, and a higher risk of vocal fatigue or damage over time. Additionally, Belle is very adventurous in exploring her higher registers, including her head voice and, as she mentioned in an interview, experimenting with her whistle tones. Inspired by Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande, this has become a key element of her vocal expression and a way for her to stand out in the K-pop scene. Her pitch accuracy and control in this area are impressive, as she incorporates these techniques effectively into her performances. However, these registers are delicate and require careful technique, particularly the whistle register, which demands the vocal folds to stretch extremely thin to reach those extreme notes.
We're gonna move like this. We're gonna move like this.
While Belle embraces belting and pushing the higher end of her range, this boldness highlights the importance of her focusing even more on developing proper technique to improve breath support and sustain healthier high notes. The frequency and intensity of her vocal gymnastics at these pitches are genuinely concerning, and warrant careful attention to ensure her vocal longevity and overall performance stability. Nonetheless, there's another noteworthy aspect of Belle's skills when it comes to tackling demanding parts.
I'll wake you up, talk that party all night.
What did you notice? Can you hear how she controlled the intensity of her high notes and avoided excessive loudness? That's vocal compression, a specific technique within the broader scope of vocal control. Belle demonstrates it by regulating airflow and pressure, counteracting the natural tendency to shout or lose control on high notes. This gentle squeeze helps smooth out high notes, maintaining a consistent tone without letting the voice become overly strained, overly loud, or distorted. This level of control is essential for maintaining vocal health and avoiding long-term damage. Above all, Belle is not merely a singer, she is an interpreter of music, a true musician. Rather than performing mechanically, she brings personal expression and intentional artistic choices to every note. Her deep musical knowledge and creative work only strengthen her artistry. Furthermore, one of Belle's greatest strengths is her smooth transitions between falsetto, chest voice, mixed voice, and head voice, effortlessly gliding across registers with ease.
Can you call yourself a man? No, I don't think you can. The truth is, everyone knows. 사랑이 미워져요.
On this list, she is a highly agile singer, with her agility feeling natural due to her effortless approach to melodic shifts. It's clear that she doesn't overthink the transitions, allowing her voice to respond smoothly and instinctively to quick changes. She can handle complex runs and passages with ease, yet refining this skill further could help her maintain more consistent precision throughout her performances. Additionally, her use of staccato adds sharpness and clarity to her singing.
Like it, baby.
But further polish could bring even more texture and precision to her delivery. Her smooth, effortless vibrato and refined dynamic control take her performances to another level, showing both technical skill and emotional depth.
But it's perfect, so I let you be. I let you to touch your
By continuing to fine-tune these aspects of her technique, Belle is well on her way to becoming an even more versatile, expressive, and technically well-rounded vocalist.
Say you won't change. I want
Upon evaluating Minju's lower register, I believe we can clearly notice the difference in the quality of her notes. For example, let's compare her B-flat 3s to her A3s.
Hisses can I believe the loving in you. 나는 꿈만 같았어. You know I do. You make my heart keep pumping. I can't stop myself loving you.
Her B-flat 3s sound clearer and more solid, like they have more depth, right? In contrast, her A3s lack the same tonal stability. This suggests that, for now, she is more comfortable and better supported around B-flat 3, and would need to showcase more of her A3s to fully demonstrate her capability in that range. Naturally, going even lower can result in a breathier tone due to incomplete vocal fold closure, allowing excess air to escape.
너를 볼 때 빛나 I can't stop myself. 아름다웠던 그 시절의 우리 깊은 곳에 빠져도 맡기는 so casual 눈은 걸어 라라라.
In Minju's mid-range, assignments that align with her tessitura allow her to maintain consistent pitch and clarity without strain, producing a clean and pleasant tone that avoids excessive nasality.
가끔씩 술에 취해 전화를 걸어 지금 너를 원하는 내 숨결이 느껴지니 이게 뭐지 내 심장이 락탑 자꾸만 뛰어 하느님도 두 손들 들었지 좋아해 cause I want it.
This range showcases her greatest vocal stability and strength, shining even in live or casual settings. Thus, it is in this range where her vocal strengths are most apparent. But have you noticed what happens when Minju hits higher notes? Can you hear how her tone can sound tense and constricted, very different from the smooth sound we hear in her comfortable range? She's already secure up to G-sharp 4 at this point, and can even deliver some good moments beyond that. With continued practice, she can build greater consistency not only with her A4s but also across higher notes in general. Additionally, enhancing the fullness and depth within her comfort zone could make her voice even richer and more powerful. Recognizing these strengths and areas for growth, it's clear that Belle's current musical direction for I-Lit perfectly complements Minju's vocal abilities, offering her a comfortable space to shine. However, can you hear the noticeable break when she transitions to her head voice in this clip? Plus, her head voice isn't that open yet, which could point to a need for improving her vocal cord coordination. A smooth and connected transition usually indicates healthier vocal fold engagement. While giving Minju lines within her comfort zone plays to her strengths for now, it also limits her chances to explore and develop other areas, like her upper register and vocal agility. This leaves plenty of room for future growth and the exciting potential to push her vocal boundaries as she continues to evolve. While Minju's vocal technique is still evolving, what do you think is the defining characteristic of her vocal style? Yes, it's her utilization of cursive singing. So, what exactly is cursive singing? According to Matthew Cantor in his article, cursive singing is inescapable, but is it any good? From February 2024, cursive singing often blends vocal fry, which creates a gravelly tone similar to the style of Britney Spears, and elongated vowels, with subtle modifications to the est sounds. Jamie Lynn Hart, a Berklee College of Music teacher, further explains this technique. The term, cursive singing, was first coined in 2009 by Twitter user TrackDroppa, who described it as voice so smooth it's like I'm singing in cursive. As noted in Jumi Akinfenwa's 2020 article A Brief History of Cursive Singing, From Amy Winehouse to TikTok. While definitions vary, Amy Winehouse is often considered a reference point for this style.
I'm a tiny petty road up the wall. Only say goodbye with words. I died 100 times.
To put it simply, think of it as writing the melody with your voice, similar to how cursive handwriting connects letters seamlessly. See how this vocal coach executes cursive singing. Then Minju.
Ready for sure to have some more.
This is why we hear Minju add an emotive and fluid quality to her performances, which really helps distinguish her as a singer, right? The style enables her to craft a vocal identity that is both delicate and emotive, key elements that give her singing style individuality. As singer and Berklee College of Music professor Cassandra McKinley points out on the first article, cursive singing reflects an artist's personal influences. That said, Minju is actually not the only vocalist on this list employing a cursive style, but her use of it is the most prominent and consistently evident, which is why I have emphasized this aspect in her analysis. However, as much as cursive singing offers a strong stylistic edge, it's important to acknowledge the technical foundations that support it. While Minju's choice of cursive singing has become a defining element of her vocal style, a habit that reflects her artistic identity, it's crucial to pair it with solid technical control to ensure her artistry remains sustainable. Looking ahead, Minju has incredible potential to evolve, even if Eyelit maintains their current musical direction. Her distinct vocal style already fits seamlessly with the group's established sound, and her ability to further enhance her vocal control can take her performances to new heights.
Yeah, look, yeah, I'm a lucky girl. Yeah, you are lucky girl. Yeah, we're so lucky, luck. Up and down, round and round, hit this pass.
Ultimately, Minju's artistry is already impressive, and with a bit more focus on refining her technical skills, she will only continue to grow as a singer, ensuring both the longevity and versatility of her voice, perfectly complementing Eyelit's sound, no matter where it takes them. So far, the comfortable lower register limit for the idols we've analyzed typically falls around A3 and or B-flat 3. Can Rami navigate this range with the same ease? Let's find out. But before that, let's be real, that was getting pretty intense, right? How about a quick shopping break? Looking for stylish yet affordable winter clothes for your trip to see your bias in Korea? With Fashion Chingu, recreating your favorite idol's winter looks has never been easier. From cozy coats and leather jackets to cardigans, cute earmuffs, and chic leg warmers, they've got you covered from head to toe. Don't worry if you are living in a warmer climate, as these pieces will come in handy for when you attend your idol's concert or live show in colder countries. And the best part? Their winter sale is happening right now, so stock up now before they're gone. Oh, and don't stress about new seasons coming in, Fashion Chingu is always ahead of the game. Whether it's idol-inspired looks or the iconic fits of your K-drama crushes, they've got it all. With worldwide shipping, Korean fashion is just a click away. Visit the link in the description and shop the winter sale today. Her tone on these notes feels grounded, meaning it sounds solid and stable, with no noticeable wobble. This suggests proper breath support and efficient vocal cord engagement. Even her A3s, the lowest note that other idols here are inconsistent, still carry impressive power and presence. Given this stability, how about we lower the pitch a bit? I've previously shared that a well-supported note often feels like it has depth, creating a sense of space and fullness without losing stability. So how does Rami manage a G-sharp 3? Interestingly, her G-sharp 3 in Drip is actually quite passable. However,
Push it to the rewind, thinking about you every day and night. Boy, what you doing to me? I'm never gone.
Those notes aren't as consistent, the tonal quality begins to weaken, indicating challenges in maintaining consistency at this lower frequency. This suggests that her lower register, particularly around G-sharp 3, is still developing. That said, the fact that Rami has shown the most control in this area points to strong potential for further extending her range and improving stability with continued technical refinement and consistent practice.
As the city burns,
Meanwhile,
so much space. 빛나는 별들로 내 심장 속을 태우는 저 불빛 날뜬 순간 피었나 하긴 밤았어 flowers 빛처럼 아름다워 이제
Rami's mid-range demonstrates good chest coordination, using her lower vocal muscles to produce fuller, more powerful tones, with her mix leaning toward the chest side, which adds richness to her tone. For context, a mixed voice blends the chest and head voice and can be chest dominant, head dominant, or balanced. When the mix favors the chest, vibrations are more prominent in the chest area, producing a sound with greater volume, power, and a fuller, thicker, and rounder tone, often with a slightly darker or richer quality, which is a defining feature of Rami's vocals. Rami can maintain solid vocal support up to around A4 and B-flat 4, with occasional strong B4s. However, some factors may hinder her from fully supporting and even extending her comfortable range. As Rami ventures into the 5th octave, this is where the difficulties in her vocal technique can become more apparent. The reliance on a chest-heavy mix becomes increasingly challenging. While her boldness in belting her notes is commendable, the downside is that it can make the challenges more noticeable, especially since this area still requires development. One of these challenges is that her belts can sometimes sound pushy or shouty, with noticeable tension in her throat and jaw, which can affect both tone quality and pitch accuracy. The warmth and richness that characterize her mid-range start to diminish, often replaced by a thinner, more nasal quality. Speaking of tension, this throatiness, a characteristic already noted in our 2023 pre-debut Baby Monster vocal analysis, indicates strain and over-reliance on throat muscles, rather than using more diaphragmatic support to achieve power. This explains her ability to occasionally project well-supported notes above her comfort range, but with inconsistent results. A vocal analysis update for Baby Monster will be released soon, highlighting their phenomenal growth from pre-debut to their first year as idols. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so we can uncover how they've reached this point, especially with Rami's journey. Therefore, addressing this throatiness remains crucial for her development, even as a rookie, as it currently limits her from reaching her full potential. On the other hand, Rami demonstrates impressive vocal gymnastics in her upper register, often pairing it with her agile vocal technique.
Wait of me. Wait of me.
She successfully incorporates these techniques into her performances, giving her parts their own unique character. For the most part, her agility, if not the best, is certainly one of the top 2 on this list.
I remember when I lost my mind. I remember when I lost my mind.
However, to cultivate a more connected and open sound in this range, this could also be linked to the previously mentioned development of her diaphragmatic engagement, which would be crucial, as she is the other vocalist on this list fearlessly exploring these vocal possibilities. None of this would be possible without her growing vocal control. Her exploration of the upper range, including the seamless application of riffs and runs, relies heavily on the strength and refinement of her control. As her vocal control continues to develop, it enables her to navigate these complex techniques with greater ease, allowing her to push the limits of her range and skill while maintaining precision, clarity, and a more connected sound. Furthermore, Rami's control extends to her dynamics, where she transitions smoothly from soft, delicate moments to powerful, dramatic ones.
As the CD burns. same space, 'cause I'm hardly the woman.
Her ability to execute her passaggio, the challenging points where her voice transitions between vocal registers, further highlights her growing vocal control. This skill demonstrates her increasing command over register shifts, which is essential for achieving a flexible sound across her entire vocal range. Lastly, Rami has stylistic techniques, one who has developed a recognizable vocal approach from her unique vocal timbre to her vocal embellishments. This level of artistry is especially impressive, given that she is barely 18 at the time of this analysis, yet already able to explore such depth in her vocal expression.
Got them, what you say? Are you ready? Set, turn on the lights. Make my own decision.
While it is entirely acceptable and even celebrated for a singer to express individuality through stylistic choices, these choices are most impactful and sustainable when built on a robust technical base. Just as a house must be constructed on a solid base to withstand the test of time and external forces, a singer's artistry can only thrive when rooted in robust technical skills. This is why continuing to refine Rami's technique is crucial for her growth. With a strong foundation already in place, further development will enhance her vocal expression, ensure the longevity of her voice, and unlock her full potential. By honing her technique, Rami will not only evolve her unique vocal style, but also safeguard the health and vibrancy of her voice for the long haul. Since most idols on this list demonstrate vocal comfort in this range, around B-flat 3 or A3, we can evaluate Elisia's lower register within these parameters. Let's start with B-flat 3.
Now I'm picking her apart. 우린 얼마나 많은 곳에.
As we can hear, her vocal production on these notes is clear and even strong, indicating that this note is already secured for her. Now, let's lower the pitch by a semitone to A3.
Stick around, round, 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 round. Take another step in my direction. I can't be trusted around you.
Now, at this point, A3 still sounds relatively clear, which makes me hopeful for more material that can further showcase her lower range. As for Elisia's mid-range, the typical comfort range for idols on this list tends to be around B-flat 4 and B4. Let's try that for Elisia as well.
I hope you're happy, but don't be happier.
Her B-flat 4s are actually quite strong, they're stable and in tune, indicating that Elisia can handle these notes with the necessary vocal control and technique. Moving just a half step higher to B4. Now, this is where it becomes more technically nuanced. While Elisia demonstrates strong moments with this note, there is still room for further refinement, potentially through more focused practice in this area during rehearsals or spare time. Elisia shows promising potential to develop greater consistency with this note. This is evident in her use of vocal tract shaping when reaching for these pitches, a technique that effectively enhances vocal projection and improves tonal quality, even within this challenging range. As Elisia moves into the 5th octave, she utilizes a head-dominant mix. In contrast to the chesty mix we've discussed previously, a heady mix's vibrations are felt in the head or face instead of the chest. This results in a lighter, brighter sound with an ethereal quality, emphasizing higher frequencies, and helping her stay on pitch while avoiding strain. This time, let's focus on Elisia's 5th octave belts. While her heady mix is effective for certain notes, did you notice how she tenses up and strains when belting higher notes, leading to pitch instability and less consistent vocal control? This suggests that her belting technique is still in the process of developing. It's common for singers to experience this when belting isn't yet fully natural or technically refined. That said, Elisia's choice to avoid forcing belts and instead switch registers or lighten her mix is a smart and mature decision. This shows strong self-awareness and an understanding of her current vocal strengths. By prioritizing vocal health and opting for safer techniques, she's protecting her voice from potential strain or damage, an important quality for long-term growth. Of course, continuing to develop her belting technique could unlock greater vocal power and expand the range of material she can confidently perform. However, her thoughtful approach lays a solid foundation for sustainable progress. Beyond this, I'd like to highlight Elisia's versatility and, on a related note, nasality. Before debuting as a K-pop idol, she began her musical career in theater. This background explains her strong vocal projection, emotional delivery, and clarity. According to BBC Maestro's How to Sing Musical Theatre, Style and Technique, in December 2023, clear articulation is a vital skill in musical theatre, where singers are trained to enunciate every word distinctly.
So dress, and I'll be read the books if I have time to spare. Tumbling, freewheeling through an endless time and sky.
This training likely contributes to Elisia's naturally open and clear tone in non-K-pop songs. However, since transitioning into K-pop, I've noticed a shift in Elisia's vocal approach, with a more nasal tone becoming prominent. A Reddit user notes that K-pop producers often prioritize a unique sound over technical perfection, sometimes encouraging singers to emphasize nasality to add texture and energy. In fact, this can be observed in Chiquita of Baby Monster's recording for her part in their comeback, Drip. In Elisia's case, this tonal shift aligns with K-pop's industry demands and cultural aesthetics, where, based on my observation, nasality is often favored for its ability to enhance a youthful, bright, and fresh image. Beyond industry trends, there may also be subtle cultural and linguistic factors influencing this shift. I've read that East Asian languages naturally incorporate nasal sounds. Upon researching, I found a source called My Korean Lesson, which discusses how nasalization is taught in Korean language lessons as a phonetic process where non-nasal sounds become nasal. This process of nasalization in language could influence how K-pop idols are trained to use nasality in their vocal styling, making it a culturally ingrained technique, even for non-Korean members like Elisia. Additionally, have you noticed how nasality is commonly used in J-pop idol groups? The analysis I found on Discord discusses the use of nasality in Japanese music, which could be connected to K-pop's similar preference for bright, youthful sounds. Both K-pop and J-pop idol groups share cultural and musical aesthetics, with nasality being a characteristic found in both genres, although the extent to which it is used can vary. This suggests that Elisia's adoption of nasality could be influenced by these shared trends, rather than a complete departure from her previous vocal techniques. Furthermore, a source for Chinese music on Teacher Vision explores the historical preference for high-pitched and nasal tones, influenced by environmental factors. The historical preference for nasal tones in Chinese folk music may have been passed down, influencing musical styles across East Asia, including K-pop. Disclaimer: while these observations are intriguing, they require further exploration and research, as many other factors need to be considered when analyzing the evolution of these vocal styles from their historical roots to contemporary practices. That said, while nasality can enhance certain aspects of a performance, such as adding brightness and warmth, it also comes with limitations. Generally, for all singers, over-reliance on nasal placement, especially without proper breath support and balanced resonance, can restrict vocal freedom. This can lead to reduced vocal resonance, strain, and difficulty accessing a fuller, more powerful sound. This is what's been puzzling me, honestly, why Elisia's upper mid-range can still sound unpolished at times. Nasal placement could be a contributing factor, potentially limiting her ability to fully support and control higher notes. Elisia's versatility remains one of her strongest assets. Her theater foundation remains solid, proving that her adaptability hasn't erased her vocal fundamentals. Instead, it complements her artistry, allowing her to transition effortlessly between styles while maintaining expressive delivery and technical control. As the only non-Korean member on the list, her ability to navigate various vocal styles is even more crucial, as she is likely to be tested on her capacity to adapt to diverse musical demands. While idol music doesn't always fully showcase the technical skills of the vocalists, Elisia's dynamic control still deserves recognition.
Watching them burn.
She doesn't simply power through songs, she knows how to adjust her dynamics to match the flow and mood of a performance, from her smooth transitions to and from head tones to her clean execution of simple riffs.
You're happy but not up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. 아무 대답 없는 널 바보처럼 왜
It makes me wonder how much deeper her skill could go if she were to tackle more complex and agile notes. Moreover,
your name, you have ruined our lives.
while Elisia can apply vibrato when needed, further developing this skill could make it even more effective in future performances. I also see strong potential for her to support her head voice with continued practice. Considering how much Elisia has already improved, the fact that she's only 15, the youngest on this list, makes her potential even more impressive. With more opportunities to sing, Elisia's growth could continue to flourish.
Wish I could be part of that world.
We actually already have an analysis of Dahyun's vocal skills from her Island 2 era, and upon re-evaluating, I believe we'd need more material to base our observations on, similar to the extensive resources we've used for the featured idols. Likewise, we'll need even more material for Ga One of Meow, as the 3 current songs might not provide enough for a comprehensive review of her vocal abilities. Nonetheless, I wanted to acknowledge them here, as we look forward to featuring both in future analyses when more resources become available. This brings us to today's focus, the 5 featured groups, which align with the lineup from our previous vocal analysis in 2024. Unlike before, this detailed breakdown zeroes in on their strongest vocalists, a long overdue exploration of their individual technical and musical contributions. It's important to first commend these talented singers for effectively fulfilling their musical responsibilities within their respective groups. Each has unique strengths and a distinctive approach to vocal techniques. However, like all developing artists, they are still on a journey of growth. With focused effort, they can refine their skills further by integrating healthier vocal techniques, such as engaging their diaphragms for better support, exploring targeted vocal exercises, and ensuring proper rest and recovery. Given that they're still in the early stages of their careers, tight schedules are inevitable. However, it's crucial to remember that vocal cords, like all muscles, need recovery to maintain optimal performance. Balancing their passion for singing with consistent effort and strategic development will be key to unlocking their full potential.